Hello people, it is your boy Toyin and I'm back again with another video. And in today's video I'll be providing a little bit of an update on the current state of DanceBuddy. So a lot has happened in the last few weeks and I just want to provide a bit of an update. So in this video I'll get into what I did to kind of finish the app. When I say finish, basically get it ready for the public beta release. Then talk a little bit about the actual public beta release that I've done. So how that's been going and how the numbers have been going for the last few days since the release. And then I'll talk a little bit about the App Store and Google Play Store as well, because it's my first application, my first mobile app. So I've had some learnings about dealing with the Google Play Store and the App Store. So I'll discuss a little bit about that. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate that. Like the video, share, please comment. And when commenting, maybe let me know, are you building a mobile application? Are you building another type of application? And if you're not, and you are a developer, why is that? Why have you not started that project that you've been thinking about for a little while? Just let me know. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get into this. So first things first, I want to talk about the last little features that I added to DanceBuddy. So if you watched my last video, which you should definitely check out, and I'll link it above somewhere. In my last video, I did a live coding session on adding this in-app survey feature, right? So essentially allowing people to fill out a survey within the application, within the flow of the application, and then submit any suggestions, report any bugs, and provide any feedback on the application. That's really important, obviously, because I want to test the app. It's not perfect, so I want to know what people think. So that was the last feature that I added. Since then, I added a couple small little things, such as on the settings page or on your profile page, I kind of showed you how many videos you've uploaded, how many folders you've created. And it's a very minimal kind of profile page at the moment because I'm more concentrating on the features and the usefulness of the application. And then I did a little more kind of small tweaks and bug fixes, but the app was essentially ready to go at that point. So what happened after that? I announced my public beta. If you've been following the channel, you will know that I created like a website that is a waitlist website basically, which allowed me to collect people's email addresses essentially. And I want to provide a little bit of numbers because I don't want to kind of glorify this process, make it out like it going really smooth. But the waitlist website that I created, essentially, it got about 10 signups. So I collected 10 emails and I emailed those people, let them know, thank you for signing up. And my public beta is going to be launching on this date. So I was getting ready to launch the public beta, and that's kind of where I made one of my first mistakes. So I announced the date I was going to launch the public beta, but I hadn't actually finished everything. Now what that meant, there was kind of a mad rush at the end. I was kind of finishing off a couple of more features because I was like, oh, it'd be good if I had this, it'd be good if I had that. And I kind of neglected the side of it, which was actually dealing with the Play Store and the Google Play Store, right? Because I'm releasing both Android and iOS versions of DanceBuddy. So that's kind of leads me on nicely onto the Play Store kind of experience, let's say, right? So the people that signed up to my public beta kind of waitlist, I emailed them to let them know the date and then worked to reach that date. Now, unfortunately, I didn't leave myself enough time to actually deal with the App Store and the Google Play Store. It's my first kind of mobile app, so I'm really learning on the job, and I didn't realize that really and truly, and this is kind of advice that you probably would get from someone more experienced, and it's the kind of advice I would give now. You should give yourself at least a week to get all the approvals you need from the App Store, from both App Stores, right? Google Play Store or Google Console and the Apple App Store. Give yourself at least a week because they need to review your application. It took me like 3 days to get reviewed and verified by Google themselves, my actual account. So I hadn't signed up to them before. So when I created my account, it took them 3 days to verify my identity. On the App Store, it took them about 3 days to verify my build. So I was releasing it as a test flight, as like an open beta, and that took 3 days to get reviewed. They need to review your build, check that your app is not inappropriate or whatever they do, and that took about 3 days. It could have taken longer if they had rejected it as well. So I was really cutting it fine. And actually what happened is that because I gave myself not enough time, I had to push back that date, right? And it's a really silly thing, really and truly, because I ended up, probably not a big deal for people, it's only 10 people, blah de blah de blah, but for myself it felt really bad because I ended up pushing back a date that I had set myself. So I set a target and I didn't reach that target, and I kind of felt a bit weird about it and a bit bad about it, really. But it had to happen because I couldn't release the app on that particular date. It just wasn't ready, people couldn't test it. And then I pushed it back a week. I was then working on the App Store stuff, getting it ready, hopefully waiting for the reviews to come in, for the reviews and the verification to come in. And then eventually I got them just in the nick of time for my new date. And again, it was a silly kind of thing because I should have left myself more time, right? I could have pushed it back 2 weeks, right? It wouldn't have caused any more issues than I had in the moment anyway. So that's probably a piece of advice I would give to everyone. Give yourself at least a week, probably 2 weeks to deal with the app stores, because you don't know how long verification and reviews of your build and those different things that you don't have control of, how long they can actually take. So that was my experience with the App Store. Another thing is obviously you have to pay for them, for memberships to the App Store and Google Play Store. So if you're releasing both Android and Apple versions, iOS versions, then you got to pay for both subscriptions and memberships. I think for Apple's about £80, Google Play Store is like £60-70, something like that for the year. So I had to do that, and yeah, again, my first mobile app, so a lot of these things I didn't know. I was just kind of winging it as I was going. You have to sort out your versioning of the application, the name of the application, make sure that your package name is something that you're happy with, because you can actually change it after the fact. When you decide on the application name on iOS and Google as well, Android, your actual name might be taken, right? So DanceBuddy was actually taken as a name on the iOS App Store, but it wasn't taken on Google Play Store. So I think I can go with DanceBuddy there. But on iOS, I had to go with DanceBuddy and then -Pocket Dictionary, right? So your app name is kind of a longer kind of version of the actual application. So those are the kind of things that you have to kind of think about. So definitely give yourself more time to just deal with them in a less stressed out way, and give yourself time to have a little bit of a think about how you want to tackle those different things. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I have released my public beta. It's been released now for, today's the 7th of September, the time of recording. It's been out for maybe 4 days, 3 or 4 days. As I said, I had 10 signups to the application. So from those signups, I've had 3 installs of my app so far on the iOS version, none on the Google Play, on the Android version, basically. 3 signups on the iOS version. And from those signups, I've had a little bit of feedback already. And it really shows that even though obviously there's very small numbers, right? I'm talking about 2 or 3 people have signed up and actually used the application. But those couple people have already given me feedback that's actually really useful. A couple of bugs, some misalignment of this, or keyboards, the keyboard of your phone kind of overwriting the text field so you can't actually see anything, those sort of things, bugs. But also I had a really interesting suggestion on what they would like to see in the application, and it's something that I am considering. Essentially, the suggestion was to make the app more social. So at the moment, it's very isolated to yourself. You can store videos and organize them for yourself, right? That's the whole point of the app. But this person suggested, can you share folders with people? So if you have a choreography folder, if there's a certain dance class, maybe you can share a particular folder with a whole bunch of people, and they can also see what is inside of that folder. So that's a really interesting idea, and it might be a potential avenue to pivot into to make the app a bit more social than what it is right now. So yeah, feedback is super important. User feedback is so important, and that's probably one thing I kind of already regret, is that I worked on this app for like 6 months before releasing it, and I probably overcooked it with features that aren't essential to the working or the actual premise, particular problem that the application is solving, right? I added a whole bunch of new features like renaming is probably important, but like reorganizing folders and downloading the videos and those sort of things that maybe didn't have to be done for the MVP. I could have left them a little bit and maybe released my app a bit sooner to collect that vital feedback, user feedback a bit earlier, and then make adjustments as I needed them. I hope that made sense. But anyways, yeah, that's my little update on DanceBuddy. I will round up this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you like this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel, like this video, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!